Hello YouTube, today we're going to be looking at my Barbara build in the Nilou Bloom team. So one of the main problems that Nilou Bloom has is that you take a lot of damage from the Bloom cores themselves. So just to demonstrate this, I'm going to take my Barbara and hit this mushroom so that I generate a Bloom core. I'll switch over to my Cole really quick, just so I can take the Bloom damage. As you can see, I took 500 Bloom damage, but if I switch to Barbara now, do the same thing, and I'm going to generate a couple more cores just to demonstrate how this is working. So first I take 400, and now I'm only going to be taking 250 damage from the additional Bloom cores. So how this is actually working is, if you look at my artifact set, I am using Tiny Miracle, which has a 20% all elemental resistance in the base 2 set. But in the 4-piece, which is interesting, is incoming elemental damage increases corresponding elemental resistances by 30% for 10 seconds, can only occur once every 10 seconds. So this kind of works perfectly with the self-bloom damage that you're doing to yourself. So now, just to do the full kind of showcase, I'm going to first do my Nilou so that I get the Nilou buff going on. And then we're going to switch over to here. And now, as you can see, I'm only taking 400 and something damage, but if I switch over to a different character really quick, well, I have to be quick about it. See, now it'd be like 900 because it's still a super bloom. So you're taking so much more damage while you're not on the Barbara. But if I switch over to the Barbara, it starts with a 700 one, but then it switches over to this 400 and basically halves the damage. So I thought this was pretty cool. Now, a couple disclaimers while I'm running this team. I'm going to showcase it in the Abyss, which this Abyss is not good for it because there's Dendro-resistant enemies. Also, my Barbara is not built correctly. I don't have her maxed out or anything, but that's not the main problem. It's the artifacts themselves. We have an attack hourglass that does no elemental mastery, and then we also have a crit rate here. So I would probably prefer having a healing bonus, one of these, or having the elemental mastery. But I'm going to work with what I got right now because, you know, artifact grinding, especially if you're aiming for a 4-star set, it's not that ideal. And just so that you can see that you can get this artifact from this domain, just like how you can get all of these Gilded Dreams in the Deepwood, you can also get some Tiny Miracle here too. So if you're grinding it out, these two sets, you're just going to get these over time, and then hopefully you're just saving the ones that have elemental mastery on them. It's in situations like these where we can see that Barbara is going to be taking a lot of self-damage from Dendro, and because she's using Tiny Miracle, she does not die in this situation. I also want to say that I am using Prototype Amber on my Nahida because this Abyss is so aggressive, but I think in other Abysses I could probably switch back to an Elemental Mastery book on my Nahida as well to get more damage out of this team.
Let's dance. Please appreciate my sincerity. Ready, steady, go! With all my strength. Did I scare you? Apologies. The Temple of Wisdom. This may hurt just like we hurt. God protect us. Positions. All eyes on me. Did I scare you? Let's dance. Let my magic begin.
This is just a proof of concept build, so the clear time shouldn't be too significant, but it's still good enough to get a 3 stars up on the other side, which I will show. While the beginning of this chamber looks like it's going pretty good, there's one problem that there are 2 Dendro Specters that are left over, so I'm actually just going to skip over this part because it's just a bunch of attacking with Nilou until they're both dead.
Let the show begin. Positions.
Now we're going to look at the Husks, which can do a lot of damage, but since Barbara can tank a lot of these Bloom hits, she does a pretty good job of tanking, and I'm also quick swapping through the teammates, so there is that as well.
Let the show begin. Oh, no! Come on, we can do it. That hurt. Roll. Make yourselves at home. Hi. Positions.
Obviously, we're not going to make the clear time in this situation, but I think if it weren't for those Dendro Specters, I probably would have made the clear time. I'm going to let this fight play out, but for the most part, this is actually a really hard team for Nilou Bloom to deal with because you're applying Hydro to yourself and the boss uses cryo attacks, so you can freeze yourself quite often. If you do make a mistake, it's really easy to die, but I'll just let it play out. One of the benefits of having Barbara on the team, though, is if you die on a different member that is not Barbara, they won't faint. The C6 will bring that character back to life.
Make yourselves at home. Here. Let the show begin. The Temple of Wisdom. Positions. Oh. Let my name echo in song.
And I have plenty of time on the other side to finish off this chamber for 3 stars. And that's about it for the video. And I just wanted to show one more thing. So with this build, this is kind of showing the max potential of what this could have. We have 833 elemental mastery, and as you can see, I switched around pieces because I actually happen to have some 4-star pieces that have maxed out elemental mastery on it. So if we look, elemental mastery here and here, and throughout everything, you know, I have a high amount of elemental mastery on the flower and feather as well. So if we look at everything all together, it's about 833 is what I got. So now we're just going to switch out the artifacts with a different build I have, which is we're just going to sort it by elemental mastery, I suppose. And I have everything on my Chongyun that I would want to have a full, set going on. So now, I don't have the best flower and feather on my Chongyun. I do apologize about that. It's about the same as having my old flower and feather. But if we look at something like this is on a set that also gives elemental mastery of 80. But as you can see, it's about, 150 more because you're getting 80 more from the actual set bonus. Plus, all this other stuff going on too is probably going to give you a little bit more as well, having like a Gilded Dream set. But if you really think about it, it's only about 150 more elemental mastery onto your build, give or take some. So is that 150 elemental mastery? Now, I know this has a set bonus and everything, so it could go up even higher. So let's be generous and say 250 elemental mastery. Is that worth taking 50% less damage on your Barbara or, you know, your Kokomi. That's for you to decide if you're playing this Nilou Bloom team variant. So just showcasing, let's go back to Elemental Mastery and then get all these pieces back. Just kind of showcasing how this set might be useful to some people that want to play more aggressively, I would say, because if you have something where you're taking 50% less damage, you probably don't need like an extra healer in your team. So maybe before you were running this exact same team, but instead of having a Kole here, doing that extra amount of Dendro application or DMC, you would have a character like a Yao Yao or something that isn't doing as much, you know, application, or you have to switch off and be on the Yao Yao for a little bit instead of being on your Barbara, who you want to proc the actual blooms and whatnot. So just from being a more offensive type of a set, because it's you know, it's helping you defensively, so you can be more offensive. That is about it for this video. So I shall see you in the next one.